Royal Crown Digital presents General Yakubu Gowon, the military leader who held Nigeria together. What does it take for a young military officer to become the leader of Africa's most populous nation during one of its darkest periods? For General Yakubu Gowon, history presented extraordinary responsibilities and difficult decisions. His story is one of leadership, conflict, national unity, reconciliation, and the immense burden of guiding a country through civil war. Yakubu Gowon was born on October 19th, 1934, in present-day Plateau State, Nigeria. Raised in a disciplined Christian family, he developed values of integrity, service, and responsibility from an early age. He joined the Nigerian army and received professional military training in Nigeria and overseas. Calm, thoughtful, and respected by fellow officers, Gowon steadily rose through the ranks as Nigeria navigated the early years of independence. Following independence in 1960, political tensions intensified. Regional rivalries, ethnic divisions, and struggles for power placed enormous pressure on the young nation. In January 1966, Nigeria experienced its first military coup, followed months later by a counter coup that plunged the country into uncertainty and violence. Amid this crisis, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon emerged as a compromise leader acceptable to many military commanders. On August 1st, 1966, at just 31 years old, he became Nigeria's head of state, inheriting a deeply divided nation facing one of the greatest challenges in its history. Despite attempts at peaceful negotiations, tensions continued to rise. In May 1967, the Eastern region declared itself the Independent Republic of Biafra, triggering the Nigerian Civil War. The conflict lasted from 1967 to 1970 and remains one of the defining events in Nigerian history. The war brought immense suffering. Millions were displaced, communities were devastated, and famine claimed countless lives. Throughout the conflict, Gowon's government maintained that preserving Nigeria's territorial integrity was essential to the nation's future. After nearly 3 years of fighting, federal forces secured victory with Biafra's surrender in January 1970. Victory marked the beginning of rebuilding a fractured nation. Rather than pursuing revenge, Gowon announced his famous policy: no victor, no vanquished. His message emphasized forgiveness, reconciliation, and national healing, encouraging Nigerians to rebuild together. His administration introduced the 3 Rs policy: reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation. Roads, schools, hospitals, and public infrastructure were rebuilt, while former Biafran soldiers were reintegrated into society in an effort to restore national unity. The early 1970s also saw a dramatic rise in global oil prices. Nigeria's expanding petroleum industry generated unprecedented revenue, allowing major investments in infrastructure, education, transportation, and industrial development. New highways, universities, airports, and public institutions reflected the country's growing ambitions. Beyond Nigeria's borders, Gowon became a leading advocate for African unity and regional cooperation. In 1975, he helped establish the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, an organization that continues to promote economic integration and peace across West Africa. Despite these achievements, his administration faced criticism over corruption allegations, uneven economic development, and repeated delays in returning Nigeria to civilian rule. While many praised the stability achieved after the Civil War, others believed military government had remained in power too long. On July 29, 1975, while attending an international summit abroad, Gowon was removed from office in a peaceful military coup. He accepted the transition without resistance and later lived in exile in the United Kingdom. After returning to Nigeria, Gowon devoted much of his life to peace building, education, humanitarian work, and national reconciliation. Through initiatives such as Nigeria Praise, he continued promoting unity and peaceful coexistence. General Yakubu Gowon's legacy remains widely debated. To many, he is remembered as a leader who preserved Nigeria's unity during its greatest internal crisis. To others, aspects of his administration remain controversial. Regardless of differing opinions, his influence on Nigeria's political history is undeniable. His story reminds us that leadership is often defined not by moments of peace, but by the difficult choices made during national crises. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Royal Crown Digital. Share this video with your friends and family to help us continue preserving and sharing history through engaging educational documentaries. Royal Crown Digital, bringing history to life.